Someone once called me a two-strand Sally. My ponytail at times looked like it could be hanging on for dear life. Maybe you've experienced this. No volume, no bounce, just vibes, and not the good kind. Maybe you've tried everything. Maybe it's teasing, mousse, dry shampoo, flipping your head upside down, like you're in a shampoo commercial, and nothing worked. I get it. I've been there. And the thing that changed my life forever is the time I got my first set of extensions and I became the main character. Suddenly, I walked different, talked differently, showed up differently. You see, it wasn't just about hair, it was about how I felt wearing it. And today I'm going to show you what extensions can really do without the pressure or the salon jargon. And so today's video is we're going to bust some myths, answering your biggest questions. I got some questions here and help you decide if this is the transformation you didn't know you were ready for. So if you've ever thought extensions are too much, too fake, or just not you, today we're going to challenge that. So let's ask some better questions. So one of the first questions we got, are all extensions the same? Absolutely not, not even close. Actually, the key word is Remy hair. If you've ever heard of it, or did, or maybe someone just tells you that all extensions tangle and look fake. But actually, Remy hair is high quality, smooth, shiny, long lasting, and aligned cuticles. And it actually blends beautifully with your real hair. So cheap hair actually does not blend. So don't blame extensions, blame bad hair and worse advice. Remy hair means the cuticle layer is fully intact and aligned. Think of it like wearing a designer bag versus a knockoff. One looks great for a week, the other lasts for a season. So question number 2 is, aren't all extensions bulky and obvious? Maybe you've ever been told extensions are heavy, or they'll show up in a ponytail, or maybe you've had extensions and you've even said, I have to take ibuprofen before I even get them installed. So let's clear that up. The first thing we're going to look at is hand-tied extensions. So hand-tied extensions are so lightweight and flat that most people can never tell you're wearing them, even in a messy bun. So this is going to be what we call hand-tied extensions. And you can see this is what we call this, the seam here. It's kind of very light. This is two wefts. We call them a weft. So hand-tied extensions, so lightweight and again, flat that most people can't even tell you're wearing them, even in a messy bun. So somebody will just say, hey, Jen, your hair's looking really good. And that's what we want them to say. We don't ever want them to say, hey, Jen, your extensions are looking really good. Like your hair's looking really good. So that's volume wefts. And then we have our machine tied wefts. So the machine tied wefts are going to be just a little bit thicker. I'll zoom in the camera here. These are amazing for volume lovers. The right method truly makes all the difference, and you shouldn't have to figure that out alone. So question number 3 is, won't they ruin my real hair? This is the fear that most people have. But let me ask you this questions. Is it the extensions or is it how they're installed? When extensions are installed properly and maintained by a trained beauty pro, they protect your natural hair, not damage. The real damage comes from bad installs, cheap hair, and skipping maintenance. So question number 4 says, aren't extensions way too much work? So I'm going to invite you to think about it this way. What if extensions actually made your hair easy to manage? Because hear me out. Most guests say this. They say they actually have to style their hair less. That's me. That's what I say too. They actually spend less time, they spend less time getting those curls locked into place so that they stay and they get those longer lasting results. Sure, there's a little learning curve, but once you're in a rhythm, it's easier than your current routine. Like I can curl my hair and it can stay like this for 3 to 4 days without me having to touch up the extensions, maybe just around my face. So if you think about that, that could save me, 10 or 15 minutes a day, and that does add up. So they're a great opportunity to actually preserve time. So question number 5 is, what if they don't fit my lifestyle? Think about this. Do you work out? Do you swim? Do you travel? Cool. So do our extension guests. So extensions are meant to fit into your life, not interrupt it. Just like you tie your hair up for a workout or pack your dry shampoo for vacation, there are just small little tweaks to make extensions last without limiting your lifestyle. This is really important, so I want you to make sure you grasp this. Extensions should enhance your life, not control it. And I've even heard say, well, they're going to the beach, I'll take their extensions out. No, if the extensions are in there and they're installed correctly, it actually may make their beach life even easier. So, question number 6 is, isn't this just for influencers or maybe extra people? Absolutely not. What if I told you our most common extension guests are moms, teachers, nurses, entrepreneurs, women just like you? It's not about chasing a look, it's about choosing to feel good every time you look in the mirror. And question number 7 is, what if I can't afford it? So let's talk real numbers. Extensions are a luxury service, yes. But truly, the cost depends on how much hair you need, your hair goals, and the methods we choose. And guess what? We build a plan together. There's no surprise bill, no pressure, just real transparency about the investment and what fits your lifestyle. I'll never forget working with a guest one day, and I asked her, like, she was the poster child for extensions. She had great hair, but I knew adding in that just that little bit more hair would give her like that wow factor and help her style stay. And so when I asked her about extensions, she said, "Oh no, I used to be on the dance team. I don't want anything near that. They always complained about, how heavy it was, how damaged their hair." And so we actually created a customized plan for her. So we just did two of the volume wefts right here. Honestly, two of the volume wefts with one install. And I think it was under a couple $100, maybe 500 if I'm thinking, but I'm just sharing the story to give you an example. Like that took her look and elevated 10 times. And so it doesn't always have to be, thousands and thousands of dollars. The cool thing about extensions is that they can be very customizable based upon what your biggest challenges are. So, question number 8 is, will people know I'm wearing them? So, let me ask you this. Do you notice when someone looks extra polished, confident, and put together, but can't quite tell why? That's usually it. When extensions are done right, people don't notice the hair, they notice you. That's the goal. So, question number 9 is, won't it be hard to take care of them? Think about this. Do you already wash your hair, use a brush, sleep at night? Then you're already doing about 90% of what extensions need. The difference is going to be some customized products, a soft bristle brush, maybe a nighttime braid or a silk pillowcase. But that's it. This isn't high maintenance, it's high reward. So good, right? All right, question 10 is, what if I'm not sure this is for me? Perfect. That's why we offer a complimentary consultation. Like, you don't have to decide today. But what if this isn't just about hair? What if this is about how you feel when you walk out the door, how you show up in photos, how you speak up in meetings, how you carry yourself in everyday life? Hair extensions aren't about becoming someone else, they're about becoming fully you. So if this made you think, wait, maybe I want to explore this, book a extension consultation using the link below, and we'll be sure to create that perfect customized look just for you.